Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the United Service Institution Strategic Dialogue, your one-stop shop for comprehensive national security issues and geopolitics. The current iteration of the Israel-Hamas conflict has gone on for 2 weeks. The clinical precision of the Hamas offensive has left Israel shell-shocked and the world confounded. Israel, as expected, has responded with all its might. At this point, it is quite evident that the two factions are locked in a combat for the foreseeable future. And to decode the ongoing conflict, we have with us today Gen SB Asthana, globally acknowledged Strategic Security Analyst who holds a doctorate in international relations from JNU. He has authored over 250 publications and has appeared in over 2,500 television shows and debates globally. General Asthana has also been awarded twice by the President, twice by the United Nations, and by the former Prime Minister of Moldova on international diplomacy. So without much further ado, let's get to it. So General, what are the contributing factors to this conflict?
This Israel-Hamas conflict is an old conflict, but the scale and the dimension of the brutality is new, and that makes it special. If you see from the historical perspective, there is no doubt that Israel needs a separate state, separate government, separate ways to govern, and so is the case with the Palestinians. So cause is genuine both sides. But what has happened is that the two-state solutions which every country which was trying to, propagate peace, was suggesting, has never seen the light of the day for one simple reason. One, because Jerusalem has the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is the third holiest site of Muslims, so they can't do without it. Similarly, Jews, the Temple Mount and the Western Wall, that is the holiest site of Jews. So considering these two things, Jerusalem is inseparable, and both sides want Jerusalem and both sides want full Jerusalem and not half Jerusalem. So therefore, division of this area where Israel is, if you see the Israel map of Israel, it is Israel, West Bank and Gaza. Now practically speaking, both Israelis as well as Palestinians, they have to stay within this bound, because that is supposed to be their homeland. Both of them claim it. Both of them have the historical factors behind them. But then the problem is that one is how to divide this entire landmass into two and make two nations. Now this is where the problem is. One is, as I mentioned, the case of Jerusalem. The second problem is you have more than 150 settlements in West Bank of Palestinians and more than 200 settlements of Israelis. Now how do you separate? And both are invested in each other. So how do you separate out? And none of the side is ready to leave that. So with the result, what is happening is that no two-state solution is going to work. When Abraham Accord was being signed, President Trump wanted that, okay, we'll give the capital to Israel and we'll develop another capital for Palestinians. That didn't work. So this is one issue which is a prolonged issue, and that contributes to the disgruntlement of Palestinians. Now why Palestinians are disgruntled and why Hamas has taken the lead, and that is the major contributory factor. See, as of today, like it or not, the entire land of Israel is with Israel, that is being controlled by Israel. West Bank is also being controlled by Israel directly. As far as Gaza is concerned, Israel is controlling its airspace, it is controlling its the naval space, that is the oceanic area, and it is also controlling the 6 exit points. So in effect, except for the internal administration, Israel is controlling everything. So Palestinians as well as Hamas, they are disgruntled and they feel the sense of injustice that we are controlling nothing. We don't have a homeland. As of now, it is, instead of two-state solution, it is one-state solution with Israel having everything. That is one part of it. Now, why it has happened now? The problem is that in recent past, we had seen that Arab countries were getting closer to Israel. We had Abraham Accord signed. Then we also had I2U2. Then there was also a deal in pipeline where Saudi Arabia was to engage with Israel. And in that case, the perhaps engagement would have been much closer because they were looking for nuclear power and things like that. So considering that, Palestinians were feeling, Palestinians in general and Hamas in particular, they were feeling that if this happens, that firstly our cause goes out of the window, and secondly, the Hamas was feeling that my relevance and my credibility and my influence, it will become zero. So therefore, they wanted to do something big. Now, what was that something big? Now, something big was that they do some act against Israel in a manner and that they provoke Israel beyond a point, and thereafter they get the sympathy and they get the Palestinian cause from back burner to a front runner discussion.
Yes.
So these were the factors which perhaps precipitated this conflict in the manner in which it happened.
So can it be assumed that the aim of the Hamas was to align the Palestinian cause and the Hamas's own cause together?
Certainly. You see, if I have to look at the strategy of Hamas, firstly, for the benefit of the viewers, I must tell you that Hamas does not believe in state of Israel. They don't believe in all the accords which talk of two-state solution. As far as they are concerned, Israel has no right to exist and Israel must perish and I should finish Israel, as far as Hamas is concerned. The irony is that in 2005 there was an election held, and in that election Hamas got elected. And at that point of time, they were not all that radical. In fact, that time the entire Palestinians used to talk almost in the same language. But they had a armed wing, and therefore they developed into a terrorist organization, but they are also an elected body. After that, they ensured that there is no election held. So with the result, they say that we are processing the Palestinian cause, but in effect, they are a terrorist body, and which must be condemned and should be condemned depending upon, after seeing what they have done on 7th of October. That was the barbaric act of which must be condemned by the entire world and Absolutely. Is being condemned. So therefore, as far as Hamas is concerned, their strategy was that we launch an operation wherein we get as many hostages as we can, and visibly and in the we also do a lot of atrocities in the population or in the civilians where we attack. So with the result, what will happen is Israel will get provoked beyond proportion, and once they get provoked beyond proportion, they will respond beyond proportion, and that will be a disproportionate response. And since they are sitting inside the tunnels, Hamas is staying below the merged with the population, below the buildings, they've got their tunnels and all that. So what will happen is, in these Israeli strikes, the Palestinians will get killed, and innocent Palestinians, as the numbers increase, yes. Then what will happen is the whole sympathy of the Arab world will get back. The nearness of Israel and Arab world, the gap between the Israel and Arab world, that will open up and that will become wide, and perhaps they also felt that the Arab world will start supporting us. Now here there is a issue. As of now, as I feel, everything has worked as per their plan. They launched a brutal attack, they videographed it also, they showed it to the entire world, and Israel certainly has gone beyond, is provoked beyond proportion. So therefore the issue was that having done that, the Arab world has responded slightly differently, not the way they thought.
Arab world expectations, you mean?
Yeah, not as per Hamas expectation. Okay. Hamas was expecting that they will support them, but what Arab world has taken a line that Hamas is not Palestinians, yes, and brutality is not the part of it. Okay. So we want two-state solution, and this two-state solution must exist. The innocent people should not be killed, and we stand with innocent people of Palestinians. So they are saying we support Palestine, but no Arab country has said we support Hamas. Okay. So this is the difference. So Hamas is now finding that they are not being supported. It's only the Palestinian cause which has got supported, and that certainly has come in forefront from back burner. So this is one thing which perhaps the Hamas did not calculate and has happened.
So, can it be assumed that the Arab world is trying to maintain the Abraham Accords?
See, they, as of now, Arab world has said no further development as far as the Arab-Israeli, shall I say, relations are concerned.
Yes.
They have frozen everything. They have not cancelled everything.
Status quo.
Yeah. So, but they are not progressing anything. That is the status. So, Abraham Accord, it's not that Abraham Accord is out of the window, but certainly there will be no progress in the foreseeable future as it appears. Second issue, as far as the Arab world is concerned, no talks, because President Biden had gone there and he wanted to speak to some of the Arab leaders as well. But nobody is talking. They are all saying that no talks till you do ceasefire. Now, that is where Israel has a problem. So, that is as the discussion progresses, I will talk about it. But then the point is, the standpoint of the Arab world is no brutality. We stand with Palestinians. The innocent killings must stop. Two-state solution must remain, and no talks till ceasefire is done, and the aid is given to the Gaza Strip.
All right. So, you've already spoken about the strategy that Hamas is using. What about the strategy of Israel?
Okay. As far as Israel is concerned, let me just first highlight as to where Israel went wrong and then what is the strategy which has adopted now. Earlier, its strategy was that, okay, they were, as it is, as I mentioned, they were controlling almost the entire Israel as well as West Bank and even indirectly Gaza Strip also. So, to say that Israel was threatened, I don't buy that story. Okay. That story was okay when all the Arab countries had attacked Israel. That time that story was okay. Yes. But today that story may not be worth buying. So their strategy was they have made a very high-tech border wall with Gaza Strip. And they thought that wall is good enough. It is all AI enabled. It has got all the surveillance system which you name in the world, the most modern surveillance system. And therefore, they were overconfident and little complacent as far as the boundary wall is concerned. Secondly, they have got Iron Dome system. So they felt that, okay, all rockets which come, all may not be destroyed, but some are diverted. Because Iron Dome system has got a finite capability.
Yes.
But then the Hamas has also got an idea that you fire a low grade rocket, and if that rocket happens to be going at the right place, Israel has to fire a very costly missile. And therefore, the cost benefit wise, it doesn't work out for them. So that's one issue. The second issue was when Netanyahu started off encroaching into West Bank, and also when they were tightening their muscles in Al-Aqsa Mosque about 2 years back.
Yes.
Now, this has also irked Hamas as well as Palestinians, because in that part, that is why you would have seen that the name of the operation of Hamas was Al-Aqsa Flood. Yes. So that was the reason why, because they wanted to drive everybody and give a religious color to that, okay, and gravitate everybody to Al-Aqsa Mosque. So that was the reason. Yes. So now Israelis were thinking that we are okay as far as the Gaza Strip is concerned because of the fencing. Hamas dare not challenge us there, and we can take out certain forces from there and use it for the internal disturbances which were caused in West Bank. And that's why certain units were not there. So they were thin on ground as far as the fence is concerned, and the border fencing is concerned. So therefore, what was happening was the border fencing was not covered by fire and observation. And Hamas noted it. They knew when the door is opening, when the door is closing, it is all being governed by the AI.
Yes.
And there was no man there. So they knew all those problems, and they also knew where that they are complacent, and they made full advantage of that. So this is where they went wrong. Now what Israel is thinking is their first priority of the operation was get all Hamas out from their territory and push them back to Gaza Strip, which they have already done.
Okay.
The second stage was that do standoff attacks, and with these standoff attacks, you can pulverize the target area where they want to destroy Hamas, and also shape the battlefield and isolate the battlefield. Now, for isolation of battlefield, the USA has also helped. The fact that the aircraft carriers have come into the sea, yes, and they have also made a lot of announcements, that is to make sure that others don't enter into this conflict. So they are putting a deterrence on Iran, and they are putting the deterrence on all the backers of Hamas that don't enter this conflict. They've also given messages to Hezbollah, but Hezbollah also has not actually used much of strength to target Israel so far. They've only fired few rockets, and then they got a response from Israel in return. And Israel also fired some of the missiles in the airports of Syria. So the two airports.
Yes.
So they have also warned them and cautioned them that please don't enter here. So this is what they are trying. Now the second problem is where this conflict becomes complicated and where the response of Israel becomes complicated. The issue is that firstly, the Hamas is located in a most dense population, dense location where the population density is maximum, that is Gaza Strip. Secondly, they are embedded in the civil colonies. Thirdly, they have made an extensive network of tunnels below. Fourthly, they know that area very well. So far, Israel, if they hike up these standoff attacks, which they did, the number of casualties which the innocent Palestinians are suffering, they are far in excess. As of today, I think the number of Israelis who were killed on 7th of October, the number of innocent Palestinians, ladies and children who have been killed are 3 times more. The number of children and ladies who have been killed in last 12 days of this Israel-Hamas conflict is more than the number of children and ladies killed in 1 year of Ukraine war. The ratio of the Palestinians' casualties versus Israelis' casualty is that in last 14 years, the number of Palestinian kills are 21 times more than Israelis. Now, this is something which the entire world community and the United Nations and the Arab countries cannot overlook.
They can't.
So, therefore, if this is the scale and variation of scale of the innocent being killed, then obviously Israel will come under pressure. USA will also come under pressure. There will be hatred. And that is why now USA is giving advisories that, okay, all their citizens, everybody outside, please exercise caution in moving out. And they are also now worried about their bases, because now this is a kind of hatred in a manner that you are targeting innocent civilians beyond proportion. So this is a disproportionate response. Now, Hamas is making best use of it, because they know that to target us, they have to do disproportionate response, because the way we are designed. The third thing is, now the third strategy of Israel is, what they tried next was that, okay, if we have to reduce these casualties, because we will come under pressure, so they said, okay, you vacate northern side and you go to southern side. Now, that again became a human right violation, because how can you tell 2.1 million people to vacate in 24 hours? So that also became an issue. Then thereafter another issue, that people vacated. They put pressure, people vacated. And when they vacated, that you go to the south, they also started bombing south. And they also started bombing Rafah crossing, which is in Egypt. So with the result, the aid was there, lined up, it couldn't come.
It could not.
And now, in one day, almost 200 trucks come for the normal sustenance of Gaza Strip. Now, on the name of aid, only 20 trucks per day are coming, which is grossly insufficient. So this is the way the complication is. Israeli strategy is I would say, wavering. They don't know what to do, and to complicate the matter most is that Hamas has got 200 plus hostages. Now, in the earlier context, when Israel was to get their hostages released, for one Israeli, they left 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. That was the equation earlier. So, yeah. Now the situation is, with so many hostages, Hamas is using them as a bargaining chip, and they are also using them as their own security. And they are not going to kill them. So many people have asked me in various interviews, are they going to massacre them? No, they will not.
It makes no sense for them.
It makes no sense, because that is the security. And you would have seen the 4 people have been released, 2 Americans and 2 Israelis. Both of them are saying that when we were being captured, that time of course we were roughed up and we were beaten. But once we were in captivity, we were not ill-treated. So this is the way Hamas is trying to play this card. Now, there is no doubt that Hamas is a terrorist organization. Hamas has done brutality. As far as anybody is concerned, as far as we are concerned, you hang Hamas for all we care. That's not the issue. The issue is that in doing so, the innocent Palestinian should not get killed. Now, that is one worry of the entire world. And the second worry is of the hostages. And hostages are from different other countries also. And that is why you would find that although all Western leaders, they are landing up in Israel, at the face of it, everybody is saying that, okay, we are with Israel, etc., and we must sort out the terrorists, etc. But they are also worried, and I am sure that they must be giving a message that you can't go beyond a point as far as the innocent civilians casualties are concerned, and we have to do something. And that is why even right from the word go, I had been saying that Israel will keep delaying the ground offensive. They'll be ready. They are ready for the ground offensive. They will keep delaying it unless some more hostages are released, because hostages is a complicated situation. And the last point I will make is, what makes it most complicated is that they fighting in tunnels is not all that easy. If USA could not fight Vietnam for so many years,
yes,
and still could not destroy all of them, it's not possible that Netanyahu can destroy the entire Hamas. Half the Hamas, many Hamas leaders are outside.
yes,
they are staying in Qatar. So, so how can you finish everybody? And secondly, in counter-insurgency operations, people are the center of gravity. You cannot annoy people and think that you have won. And you will never be able to govern that area. And secondly, every innocent killed, we have done a lot of studies on this. I must say that for every innocent killed, his child will subsequently become a terrorist by himself. So, all the innocent guys killed in Gaza,
yes,
their children may perhaps be the next breed of Hamas, which may come up subsequently.
So, General, you've spoken of a very complicated battlefield.
Yeah.
Why has it become so, the issue has become so muddled up?
See, the complications, as explained, let me restate, the complications have arisen because of hostage problem, because of fighting in built-up area, because fighting in built-up area involves a lot of infantry. The Israelis army is designed for mechanized operations. They've got a whole lot of assets in terms of tanks and artillery, etc., that they have enough. But then the problem is when you have to clear the built-up area, then you have to do street fighting, you have to do fighting, room-to-room fighting, you have to do fighting in tunnels. Now that you are as much at risk as Hamas. Okay. And Hamas knows that area, you don't know that area. So therefore that makes it complicated. So that fight is going to be a complication. And secondly, the hostages being with Hamas, there is an issue. Because if Hamas feels that their survival is threatened, then they are brutal. If they, let's say hypothetically, they chop off the head of 2-3 guys, yes, and make videos and sell it everywhere and say that if you don't stop, we are going to continue with that, there will be a major crisis. There will be a major concern all over the world. So therefore, hostage issue as well as the way Hamas has prepared itself, both have added the complications for Israel. And the fact that Gaza is so heavily populated, and it's one of the most, population density is one of the highest in the world.
Yes.
So considering that, this is causing a problem as to how to finish Hamas without targeting innocent Palestinians. Now this is the biggest complication which Israel will find it very difficult to handle.
So this is an evolving story, and we will get back to the viewers as and when newer developments arise. And on that note, this episode of the USI Strategic Dialogue comes to an end. Thank you, General Asthana, for giving us your valuable insight.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.